This conference will now be recorded.
Let me know if you're able to see my screen.
This is good.
Okay. Okay. So because let, can you able to see my screen completely?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So as I have started regarding, so I will start from the beginning because yesterday there was an issue with the recording as well, right? Okay. So what is RPA? Right. So RPA is nothing but robotics process automation, and why it is in full demand now, right? So because everyone wants to uh, go for the automation wherever there is a repetitive task. Okay. So nowadays nobody wanted to spend the money in the activities where it is involving the repetitive task. Okay. And RPA previously, if I go back to 4 to 5 years back, so it's hardly few organizations, that too service-based organizations, these RPA tools have been used, and they work for the multiple clients. But if you see the current trend, I can say maximum of organizations having their internal RPA teams, right? And they are moving towards the digitization in today's world. So whatever they have been doing manually, and they are automating all those processes by using the multiple tools, whether it is a BluePrism, UiPath, Automation Anywhere, and there are many tools also in the market. Okay, so we will discuss about what is the RPA process automation and what benefits will robotics process automation provides. Are the specific business functions that are particularly situated to robotics process automation? What factors should be considered when implementing the robotics process automation? And how does BluePrism delivers robotic process automation? And what are the strengths of the BluePrism implementation and adoption methodology? What key features and capabilities does BluePrism provides, and what are the benefits of these features? We will discuss all this one by one. Okay, so in a single sentence, if anybody asks what is a robotics process automation or RPA, RPA is nothing but uh, designing the process which humans does manually. Okay, so it's like the mimicking what humans does in the real world. Okay, so that is what the robotics process automation. And it's not only repetitive work and yeah, but mostly robotics RPA will be, uh, processes will be designed where there will be repetitive work. Not only repetitive work, in some scenarios there will be some business logics are available, and in some scenarios there should be some integration. Wherever the integration is needed, there also the RPA will be implemented. Okay, so what is a business process? So basically, if you see before and after, right? So before is nothing but all these activities done by the humans. Once the robotics process automation has been implemented, sorry, so robotics process has automation has been implemented, then a robo has to do all the activities. Okay, but here you can see standardized unstructured data to structured format, then perform validation of the data, then create transaction documents and upload the documents to the repository. Okay, so
Vinod, you are not audible.
No.
Udit, can you hear me?
hello,
Yeah,
yeah, can you hear
You are
me now?
audible. Ah, yes.
yeah, sure.
Okay, looks like there is some network issue. Okay, so till what point did I started this screen before you left?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Con-
so okay, so before automation, you can see there are some steps which has been performed by the user or woman. Standardize unstructured data to structured format, then perform validation of the data, then access account database, then create transaction document and upload the document to the repository. Okay, but after automation, still user is doing manually for standardizing the unstructured data to the structured form. Okay, and then whatever the actions user has been performing, all this validation of data, accessing databases, creating the transaction documents, and uploading the documents to the repository, all these activities are done by the robo. But here you have to observe one thing: robo will not be designed where there is a unstructured data. Okay, there should be a structured format, and then only we can able to implement the processes. For example, just consider that you have a student details, okay? Student name, student id, m1, m2, m3, total grade. Okay, if you provide the data, okay, in a same manner which I have told you, right, like student name, id, m1, m2, total and grade, then it will going to process all the uh, uh, student items, like, okay, calculating the total, calculating the average, because we have designed in the same way where it will going to get the name from the column A, id from the column B, m1, m2, m3 from column C, D, E, and we will be adding the data into the column F for total, and G we will be adding the grade. But what if user has provided the data, like instead of student name in column A, if they provide the student name in column B and student ID in column A, will the will the robo process work? Or total he has given in column A or column B and grade he has given in column C, then process will work? No, it will not work. Why? Because we have, as I told you, name, ID, M1, M2, M3, total grade. So this is the sequence I have designed the process. Okay. Apart from that sequence, if I receive the data, then it will going to impact the process. It will not give the desired results. Okay. So that is the reason we are saying that standardize unstructured data into the structured format. Okay. We have to make sure that we are following one standard structured data. Okay, then only robotics process will going to work. Okay, what is RPA? As I tell, robotics process automation is nothing but the RPA. So it is a process is nothing but a sequential steps. Automation performed without human interaction. Okay, and robotic means resources or resource PC or software robo. Okay, or VM also we can say. Okay, if I tell you resource or PC or software robo or VM, those are all nothing but robotic or robo only. Okay, you just simply, if I use these sentences, you can just assume that okay, that is a robo. Okay, whether it is a resource PC or whether it is a VM or whether it is a software robot, or sometimes I will call them as a virtual machine also. Okay, a software robo is a software application that replicates the actions of human being interacting with the user interface of a computer system. Okay, what is the robo? Robo is nothing but one a program or a software. Okay, generally the tool is a software. Okay, robo is nothing but one application. Okay, whatever we will design the process that it will going to execute it. Okay, what is the process? Process is nothing but a combination of business rules and integration of different applications. Okay, how the human is doing in the same way we can automate the processes. Okay, why we are using the RPA? Okay, not only we in the sense organizations. Okay, why organizations uses the RPA? Because it's because the quality will be high, right? The human errors will not be uh, available when we have implemented the bot. Why? Because if we have written one condition, right? Okay, it has to go in this condition and it has to validate this data. Whatever logic we have written, it will perform the same logic each and every time when you execute the task, right? But when it comes to humans, right, so sometimes okay, 100 times I'm maybe performing the correct, but at one time there may be a slight mistake from my end also, right, while calculating anything. Okay, that is the reason we will go for the robots, because it provides a good quality, okay, highest quality when we compare to human beings. Next, productivity boost, right? So um, like if I design any of the process, okay, and if I run it, okay, how the softwares will going to run? It will run very fastly. Okay, so for example, if I am doing some calculations and if I am going to the application, if I am downloading and processing and saving it to some location, if it takes me manually for half an hour, then if I implement the robo, then it may going to complete within 15 minutes, right? So that is the productivity boost I can say. So it will going to reduce the average handling time. That is nothing but the processing of the entire execution time of the processing will going to reduce less than 50%. Okay, and cost saver. So as you said, in today's world, resources are more expensive than the robots, right? So in that way, it will be very cost effective when we go for the RPA. And implementation speed, uh, okay, and we can implement the processes very fastly, okay, but again it will be depend upon the kind of applications we are implementing, okay. But implementation will be, we will be generally completing the processes within 2 months or 3 months of duration, with end to end, okay. That's how it will be. And this will also reduce the, staff, or it will increase the workforce of the robots, okay. The capacity will be increased, and at the same time, the wherever humans are been working on it, right, so it will reduce the human dependency. And it is like, individually running the processes without having any of the dependency, okay. And even though, see, humans will maximum work for 8 hours, right, as per the company policies, 8 hours in some organization, 9 hours in some organization, 10 hours. But when it comes to robo, you can run the robots 24 by 7, okay. Once you take the license, it it doesn't stop you to run only for 4 hours or 8 hours. It will allow you to run 24 by 7, okay. And payback, okay. So let's say if anybody has, any organization has implemented the robo, and whatever they have invested in the robots, right, and then they will be getting the returns starting from the third month, okay. And obviously the reusable processes are reusable objects, okay. So let's say, there is one application, and two different teams are using that application for two different processes, okay. Then I will be designing the object, single object for two processes, and I will be using the same objects in the two processes because the application is same, okay. There we can reuse the objects in multiple processes. Any questions, guys, till this point?
No.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. So as I informed earlier, right? So it is mostly, repetitive data entry. Where is the repetitive data entry is there? There the RPA will be fit 100%. Okay. And you can see some more items also available here when there is a reporting or data analytics, or when we are transforming the data from one application to the database, or database to other applications, or when we are integrating between the two applications, right. Then also it will be useful. And for audit purposes also, we can use the RPS. And when there is a mapping, there is nothing but from one application, the data will be in different format. In another application, the data will be in different format, so we can map that as well, okay. So in these multiple scenarios, we can able to use the RPA. Okay. And the in business processes where we can use the RPS, okay. uh, we can use the RPS in ERP applications, or wherever we are using any of the email kind of messages is there, like reading the email, writing the email, uh, getting the data from the email or email attachment. And wherever the periodic reporting is needed, there also we can use the RPS. And processing the files, and storing the files into the uh, shared locations, or AWS or cloud. So these are all the different locations, the business processes, um, RPA will be used in these business processes. Okay, how RPA works? Okay, so here there will be multiple stages when it comes to RPA. So in a simple word, if I tell you how it will going to start, the first phase is nothing but the discovery phase. In discovery phase, they will going to identify whether that process is feasible to do the automation or not. Okay, once they done the analysis, then they will do a small kind of POC. Okay, once that POC is successful, then they will go for the actual plan. Okay, what actual plan? When once they confirm that okay, this can be doable, that is nothing but a discovery, then the business team will going to prepare the PDD document. PDD is nothing but the process design document. Okay, when the process design document is done, and in some organizations or in RPA terminology, process design document is nothing but the as is process. Okay, and after designing the PDD is nothing but whatever the activities you are currently doing it. So putting all those information into the PDD document, that is not the process design document. Okay, so for example, in our class, what I have done it, I have gone through the slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, slide 4, right? So I have explained, okay, these activities we can able to do it, right? So let's say these are all the activities I will do it on daily basis. Then these activities will be documented into the PDD document. That's it. Okay, and what are all the business logics you will be implementing while doing the process? You have to include that in that. Next, after that, a developer will going to design, our lead will going to design, our solution architect will going to design the solution design document. Okay, where the RPA team will tell you that okay, th- the we will going to design RPA processes in this way. Okay, that is also nothing but to be process. Okay, as is process is nothing but the PDD document. That is nothing but before implementing the RPA, how the process is, and solution design document is nothing but to be process. That is how the RPA process will going to design. Okay, and then after that, development will going to start. Once the development is done, then the UAT testing will going to perform with the business or respective stakeholders. Once the UAT testing is done, then the code will be moved into the production environment, and initially for 1 month or 4 weeks or 5 weeks, we call it as a pilot testing. Pilot testing is nothing but they will be testing with 1 or 2 scenarios or 1 or 2 clients. Once that is successful, then they will start with the full-fledged clients or with all the clients. Once pilot testing is successful, and then it will be put it in the hypercare. Hypercare is nothing but whatever the small issues will come, those issues will be fixed by the developer. Once the hypercare is done, so hypercare will be again depend upon the organization to organization. It will be from 2 weeks to 4 weeks. Okay, once 2 weeks to 4 weeks is done, then that process will be handed over to support team. Okay, and once that process is handed over to support team will going to take care in the production environment. Okay, then developer will be going to pick up the another process. Okay, so that is how they have explained all these steps in uh, here. Okay, explore is nothing but the identify the need of automation. Okay, that is nothing but discovery, as I said. Okay, decision making, just identifying whether this will give the high benefits or not to the organization. Then blueprinting is nothing but assessment of the processes identified and estimate ROE estimations, return on investments. Okay, how much we are getting the benefits. If I tell you in a single word, okay, benefits. Then um, identifying and preparing the stakeholders, including the partners. Okay, who are all the stakeholders we have to identify. Then preparing the POC. POC is nothing but, as I said, whether we can able to do this process or not. So we will just do small kind of process. That is nothing but the POC. Then POC is successful. Then we will be planning one end-to-end project plan. where it will contains, how many processes we will going to design, and what is the development efforts, what is the UAT efforts, what is the pilot timelines. All these will be mentioned in this roadmap. Okay. Then after implementing it, what are all the benefits we are getting it? This is the actual benefits. Okay. Then it's keep on going into the production environment. Any questions here in this slide?
Can you explain me what is POC?
Ah,
Okay.
POC is nothing but, so let's say there is a process. Okay. In that process, assume there are four applications are involved. Okay. Application A, application B, application C, and application D. Okay. If I don't do the POC, if they start telling me to develop the entire thing, okay. For example, what I do in my process, the requirement should be like, okay, first I go to the application A, download the. It will go to the all the navigations. Assume 50 navigations are there. Okay, click on this button, click on that button, go to this, download this, validate this. Then after that, I will go to application B and I will perform all those things. Then I will go to the application C, okay, and I will perform all those steps, and I will go to the application D and I will go perform all those steps. Assume if you have stuck at application C, okay, and you already spent 1 month of development efforts, and when you go to the application C, you are unable to spy the elements, means you are unable to do any kind of activity on that particular application, because that application is not supporting the BluePrism. Okay, so I am unable to do the automation by using that application, so it is not allowing me to capture the attributes of that application. Then what happens? Whatever the 1 month I have spent it on the development, right? That is application A, I have designed, application B I have designed, now I stuck with the application C. So don't you think last 1 or 1.5 month of efforts went into waste, right?
Yes.
Okay. In that case,
Yes.
what we need to do is in POC, okay, these four applications are involved, right? Then they will just make sure that whether the we are able to capture the elements of that particular application or not. Okay. So in POC, I will not capture all 50 elements. I will just check, okay, 1 to 5 elements. I will randomly pick up any of the 1 to 5 elements. I will check, okay, it is whether I am able to spy those elements or not. Okay, I'm able to spy it. Okay, then I will go to the application B. Okay, I'm able to spy application T. C, I am able to spy application D. I am able to spy. Okay, if it is doable, then they will say that okay, POC is successful. Now we can start actual process. Okay, so POC is nothing but the initial steps where we will identify whether this will be feasible with the blue prism or not, or we can do it with any of the tool or not. Okay, it will, the duration will be very less. Okay, it will be hardly 1 week to 15 days. Okay, so maximum within 1 week to 15 days we will come to know that okay, whether this is doable or not. Okay, instead of starting the actual development. Okay, in actual development there will be lot of business logic, there will be a lot of process logic, but in POC we are not doing end to end. We are just checking, okay, this part will be automated or not. Once few elements are spied, then it means that we can able to automate that application. Now you got it, what do you mean by POC?
Yes, you know.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
it's like designing the process before designing the actual process. Okay, actual process may going to take 2 months of development, but POC we will complete within a 1 week only.
Who make POC, sir?
Sorry.
Who make POC?
Yes, so basically the POCs will be done by the experienced guys only. Okay, and uh, when we are discovering, right, when we are discovering the process, okay, whether these processes are doable or not doable, um, POCs will be done by the project leader, or POCs will be done by the architects, okay, because they are the one who will be involving in initial discussion with the business, right? So generally developer will not be, involved in these high level discoveries. Only leads or managers or solution architects will be involved in those discussions, and they will give it to any one of the senior developer or lead to just to check whether this can be doable or not. Okay, if you have 2 years of experience, let's say I'm discussing with the one of the BU. Okay, I went into the call and they have explained about their process. Okay, and I have been in that meeting. I will check, okay, this is application, they will download all these things, and after that they will going to perform all those things. Okay, I will come to know. Then what I will do next to, okay, who is the senior developer? Suppose Vikas is a senior developer. Okay, I will tell you that, okay, because this is the process that we need to develop. Okay, uh, I will give the background about it, and I will share the video also what we have discussed. Okay, and I will tell to Vikas that, okay, Vikas, you just check login whether we are able to log in or not, and you check whether we are able to spy few elements in that application or not. Okay, so you build small process with some steps, and let me know whether it is doable or not. So what he will do is, Vikas will going to, and I will provide all the application accesses to Vikas, and I will going to provide the staging environment to Vikas, and Vikas will going to log in into the machine, and he will get all the access it, and he will just develop some portion of the application, and he will tell, okay, out of 4 applications, all 4 application worked well, Sunny. So it means that we can design this process. Okay, or else if we say that, okay, Sunny, in 4 applications we can able to capture the elements in only 3 application, one application is not working, so we can't able to design that process. Okay, based upon his input, and again I will go back to the business and I will tell that, okay, this process is not doable or not doable. If it is doable, then we will take that and we will prepare a entire development plan, UAT plan and pilot plan. If it is not doable, we will just throw out and we will look for the another process what they are doing in the manually. Okay, so for your question, the POCs will be done by the senior developers, okay, or lead. Okay,
Okay, sir.
okay, so this is what I have explained you. Okay, so I have told you the end-to-end steps, right? So for few steps we call it as a identify mod phase or module, and few steps we call it as automate, and steps we call it as monitor module. Okay, what comes into the identify phase or identify module? Like analyzing the processes, okay, and making sure that there should not be any gap in the processes, baseline validation, and RP analysis. Okay, these are all comes under the identification. Okay, so identification is nothing but, in the simple word, identification or discovery. I used the discovery word, right? So in RPA world, most of the persons use the discovery. Discovery is nothing but we are analyzing the process whether it is doable or not. Okay, that is nothing but discovery or identify phase. Next, automate phase. In automation phase, what we will do, right? We will design uh, solution design documents, then we will develop, we will configure all the um environment variables or other different variables, session variables. Then we will test it, then we will deploy into the different environments, whether it is UAT or production. Okay, once everything is works well, then we will hand it over to support team. Support team is nothing but the monitor team. Okay, in monitor team, so in the production, you can see lot of boards available for the respective processes. Okay, so it may be lot of boards or it may be few boards based upon their requirement. Okay, let's say I am doing a payroll processing. Okay, for payroll processing there is a 10 members team who is doing the payroll processing. Okay, if I go with the bots, I may require 4 bots to do the same payroll processing. Okay, those four bots are nothing but the work virtual workforce. Okay, so these are all nothing but the bots also, you can say that. Okay, so monitoring is nothing but monitoring these 4 bots whether these are all working fine or not into the control room. Who will going to monitor? The support team will going to monitor that. Okay, support activities comes under the monitor. Okay, they will going to monitor the processes very closely. Okay, so what are all the different applications we can able to automate? You can see some of the SAP applications, CRM applications, civil application, and we can use the APIs, and we can design the Citrix based applications. Citrix are thin, both are one and the same, and we can have multiple RPA VBOs. Okay, Excel VBOs are there, application objects VBOs are there, and we have the control room where we can monitor all the processes. Okay, this is how the BluePrism looks like. Okay, this is the BluePrism interacting diagrams. Okay, so in the BluePrism you can see object studio, process studio, BluePrism processes, BluePrism database. Anyhow, we can't able to see the database, it is a backend, and the control room and system manager. Right, so these are all the um, different models we can able to see it in the BluePrism. Okay, this is the BluePrism queue management, and this is the BluePrism schedulers, and this is the BluePrism reports. Okay, I will just practically log into this BluePrism so that you can see how the BluePrism looks like. Okay, and I will ask Vinod to install BluePrism in your systems. Anybody have the BluePrism installed in your system?
No.
But I have.
Vikas? Is this Vikas? Sudhir.
Sudhir, Sudhir.
Okay. Okay, Vikas, I will ask Vinod to install this BluePrism tool. Okay, in your laptop.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Once you log in, this is the default screen it will going to display. That is the home screen. In home screen, you can see what is the queue volumes and total automations, workforce availability. All these details you can able to see it. And the next tab is Studio tab. The 90% of the developers will be, spend their time in this Studio tab for designing the processes. Okay, this is the process and this is the objects. Okay, so in Studio there are two models. One is a process model and another is a object model. And next is a control room. And control room have the three models. Okay, session management, queue management, and schedulers. Okay, this is nothing but a session management where we can see available processes, available bots, and what is their sessions. Okay, then queue management. Okay, how many queues has been working currently? Okay, what is the statuses? How many are pending? How many are deferred? How many are executed till date time? And what are all the items it has been performed? Next, schedulers. You can see all the schedulers. Okay, whatever the schedulers we have been allocated, we can see all those schedulers, and we can create the schedulers, we can modify the schedulers, we can retire the schedulers, or we can unretire the schedulers. Okay, in control room we have three submodules: session management, queue management, and schedulers. Next, analytics tab. So maximum, we will not be using this tab. Then releases tab. Whenever we are deploying the code from one environment to another environment, it may be from production to UAT, UAT to development, or development to UAT, or UAT to production. So we need to have the releases, so that we can uh, export the release from this environment and import that release into the some other environment. Okay, we can do those activities in the release management tab. Okay, next, system tab. In systems app, we can able to configure the environment variables. We can able to create the queues. We can able to create the users. We can able to create the or manage the resources, right? And we can able to um, mm, unlock the environment locks, and we can do the settings, and we can configure the credentials into the credential managers. All those activities will be done in this system tab. Okay, you can refer this in this way also. You can just click on this way, just like I have done it, or else there is another way also to do it. Okay, in the left hand side you can see there is a home. Okay, then studio, then control room. Okay, you can access the tabs in both ways. Any questions, guys, till this time?
No.
No, sir.
No.
Okay. Okay, so I will just show you how the studio looks like. Okay, so here you can see, if I see, basically to you can see there is two submodels, right? One is a process and another is a object. Okay, what exactly the process is? Nothing but process is nothing but the process contains the business logics. Okay, and it is a the structure of how one process will looks like. Okay, if I am doing one kind of activity end to end, right? So that activity will be performed in this process, and what are all the business validations we have to do it, all those business validations will be done in the process. But what is the object is nothing but in object is used to interact with the application. Okay, if I wanted to put user ID in ABC application, and if I put password into ABC application, and I wanted to click on submit button or login button, then after that I wanted to read some data. Okay, user ID, or once I log in, I wanted to capture some information from the application. How do I do that? By reading the data or reading the elements from that application. Okay, so that we can able to do it by using the object studio. Okay, so object is nothing but use it to interact with the application, whether it is reading or writing or navigating. So all these activities we can able to do it in the object studio. Okay, and uh, and this is one of the interview questions, and they will going to ask what is the difference between the objects and the process. Okay, you can explain what I have told you. Okay, process is nothing but we will implement the business logics in the process, and it is a end-to-end process. Whatever the process is there, we will build in the process studio. But object is nothing but interacting with the application. Wherever we wanted to interact with the application, we will use the objects. Okay, and these objects will be called only from the processes. Okay, these objects will not be called in the control room. In control room only we can able to publish the processes, we can't able to publish the objects. Okay, that I will tell you in detail what is the publish, what is the control room. Okay, all those things. So if I right click, you can see create a process is there, delete a process, create a group, rename group, delete group. Okay, you can just explore all those things, and I will just tell you the main thing. Okay, so to create a new process, we have to click on this new process. Okay, instead of this, I will just do it in. Okay, I'm just creating as a demo process. You can put any description based upon your project requirement. Okay, one demo process has been created. You can see it has created, it has captured the date and time. It has captured what kind of edit it is. We have created this right newly, so it is edit type is creation. Who created that? It will going to provide that ID. This ID is nothing but whatever the ID you have used to log in this BluePrism, that ID it will going to display, and summary process created. Okay, I'll just double click on it. Okay, once I open the process will looks like this. Okay, it by default it will have the main page. Okay, and it will have the start and end stages. Okay, we call these as a stages. Okay, so once the process has been created, once you open that, you will see only one page, that is the main page, and in that main page there is a start stage and there will be end stage. Okay, and you can see there are multiple options available over here, and from tomorrow's class we will going to discuss about all these left hand side stages. Okay, why we going to use and what are all, where we can able to use all these stages, that we will going to discuss in detail. Okay, any questions guys till this time?
Yeah, it's like, okay.
Now I go to object, right click create object. You have to enter description, finish. You can see one object has been created over here. This is the same, right, what we have seen it in the process. Created date and time, who has, what type of edit it is, who is created, and what is the edit summary. Okay, if I open the objects, right, you can see there are some stages available in the left hand side, and there are some stages available in the panel also. Okay, but you can I will going to discuss details when we are talking about the complete process and objects. Okay, what are all the differences between the process and objects when it comes to these particular screens. Okay, here when you create the process, you can see only main page is automatically created, but when you create the object, there will be three actions or pages automatically created: initialize, cleanup, and action one. Okay, this is one of the difference. And launch and application modeler will not be available in this process studio. You can see it here clearly, right? Launch and application is available in only object studio. Okay, and same as read, write, navigate, code. Okay, you can't able to see this read, write, navigate code and wait stages. Okay, these are all the additional stages which will be available in the object but not in the processes. Okay, if someone asks what are the difference between the object and process, you can explain whatever I have told you. Apart from that, you can explain that in Object Studio we will be having the launch and application modeler options, but when it comes to process it will not have it. And we will have additional stages like read, write, navigate, code, wait stages in the process Object Studio, but we will not be having those in the process studio. And but when we created the process, by default it will have only main page, but when we create the object, by default it will create the initialize, cleanup and action on stages. Okay, these are all the differences between the process and object. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, then let me stop this recording.